Okay, now sports.
Oh, sports! This time doing it deliberately. Welcome, everyone, to the Awesemo.com Live Before Lock show, where we will break down the slates of basketball, of baseball, of WNBA, of NHL, every sport you can think of. We are talking about it occasionally. As always, I'm Chris Beggs, joined by the star of the channel, my fellow backwards-hatted gentleman, Josh Engelman. Josh, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm pretty good. Took a bit of a beating on the early slate, so the wind is no longer in my sails.
Oh, that's tough. We were talking about our recent successes and failures before going on, and I was telling Josh I was in first place for DraftKings big NBA Showdown slate tournament yesterday for 75% of the game until the Warriors decided they don't want to play basketball competently, and they figured they would make it competitive and have a fun series. So I ended up going down from 11 grand to a sweet $170 net break even. So fun stuff, but it's a new night. It's a new night, a new day to pick home runs, a new day to talk baseball and basketball. Let's talk baseball up front because basketball is not a lot of options. No. What are you doing tonight for baseball, Josh? What stacks are you looking at first?
Fuck, man, it's getting worse in this early slate. Ugh. Anyway.
Do you hear any weather stuff at all or no?
No.
Okay, so that's good.
Yeah. So right now my top three stacks on FanDuel are this microphone. Pirates, Orioles, Angels. Top three on DK. Cubs, Pirates, Orioles. One key takeaway from that Cubs one. We're not really projecting all that much ownership to the Cubs. So I'm like many magnitudes above our projected ownership for the Cubbies, and now I'm officially nervous about it. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, Adam Plutko not looking like he grades out very well in his one start, three games pitched, one start.
Yeah.
But boy, that fly ball rate pretty high, home run rate due for some regression, but very high. Second worst pitcher xFIP on the slate. Seems like a good guy to target, so I'm surprised ownership wouldn't be that high on the Cubs.
You and me both. Rockies lineup just posted, so that's the last of everything for the slate. So thanks to baseball for getting that shit together. Much obliged.
Is it because the Astros aren't playing on the slate, maybe?
Maybe.
Could be a part of the reason why. All right, so those are your stacks. We'll talk more stacks, obviously. And if you have thoughts on stacks, actually, I was mentioning this to Josh yesterday in the video with Jake. Somebody mentioned the Cincinnati Reds stack as being a thing that they were looking at. And
sure. For letting me copy her homework. So, Jackie, if you're listening to this, email me your address. I'll get you that Beatles poster.
I thought you were going a different direction. You started with a B, and I was like, oh, interesting.
This was probably 5th or 6th grade.
I say, you never know what you're exchanging for homework in 5th grade. Kids grow up fast.
Shout out to Jackie for hooking me up that day.
That is a classic girl who would barter favors. I've dated a Jackie or two. I don't want to make a judgment, but Jackies have problems.
She would have never dated me. She was way too smart for that.
But not too smart to get her Beatles poster.
Yeah, she probably just didn't want to deal with me, if I had to guess.
That's fair. But yeah, so
anyway.
If you have a stack that you're thinking of, we'll call it a little experiment, but / me compensating. So if you give a stack that you feel like is good, I will personally grade it live on the stream and look at the numbers I look at and make a judgment call. Because that's the kind of progressive content we do here. It's like the Socratic method, I think. This is what we were going for here, where you just have kids keep asking or answering questions until eventually they land on the answer themselves.
I don't know. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, sure. And anyway, what about pitchers? What are you pitching tonight?
Well, DeGrom obviously is going to be owned quite a bit. I like Chris Archer a bit. Jake was not a fan. He grades out really well for us. And then I wasn't kidding about Alex Cobb this morning. We're projecting a little bit of ownership to him, and I have no problem saying that he is an A value rating on DraftKings, 1 of 3. So I'm not too bummed about my Alex Cobb prognostication this morning.
Good for you. You've been a known Cobb fanatic.
I just really like it when my shit matches our shit. It makes me feel like I'm on the right track.
Yeah, look, I agree. I think it's nice to get some sort of validation on your beliefs.
Yeah. Now I need to learn how to do this a little bit better, and then we'll be good to go.
This guy who is taking claim for the Reds pick, even though I don't remember you being the one who submitted the Reds yesterday. I feel like it was Lorenza. I feel like that's the name that I'm associating with the Reds last night. But whatever. He's saying he's picking between Gohara and Archer. Which would you go with? Gohara doesn't seem to throw a lot of pitches. So
if it's DK, I mean the answer is Archer and Gohara? It's Archer regardless. Sorry.
Yeah, because you don't go with cheap pitchers on FanDuel anyway.
Right. I have a lot of Gohara right now on FanDuel. I've already manually made the adjustment, so I'm re-crunching now. But the answer is Archer regardless.
Gohara, I think Gohara grades out well if you look at FanGraphs, but if you look at his actual, is he a converted reliever or something? Doesn't seem to be pitching very much.
Prospect.
Is he? Oh, okay. Weird. Yeah. I don't know.
So he's like the guy that has big time stuff version of Mike Soroka.
Okay.
Lefty, young lefty, big fastball, big slider, like your typical, lefty style pitcher. But yeah, that's he was, I think, the Braves number 3 prospect on FanGraphs coming into this year.
Oh, okay. So it's a little more of a pedigree. That makes sense. We don't. I guess you know better as a Braves guy, but in general, we don't mind prospects coming up who are super cheap, or at least I don't mind them, and I feel like you've normally been on the same page. So why not Gohara?
No, I'm gonna have more than the field than Gohara for sure. I am worried about how much he'll pitch into a game. He's got swing and miss stuff, but I don't expect him to go 8 strong or anything. We're not projecting a ton of ownership. He's actually not grading out all that well on DraftKings in the Osimo rankings, which does give me a little bit of a pause. But he does have a good value rating on FanDuel for us, so that part does make me happy. I'll be over the field on him. I like him quite a bit, and you guys know obviously that I don't have a problem talking shit about the Braves and not playing them. So when I do play them, you can assume that I mean it.
True. Though sometimes you do go the other way, where you are a little less bullish on Braves. I don't know. This guy Conrad in the chat who's taking claim for the Reds pick. It's really Team Gohara. I don't know. I also feel like we should shout out Greek Inc., who asked us if he should join Premium and why. Actually, he says that he did join Premium, so thank you for doing that. If you're not a Premium member of Osmo.com, you should be. We're putting out a shitload of content now, besides just the ownership projections and rankings, which we talk about ad nauseum on the stream and people ask about and all that. We did a Q&A with Osmo earlier today. Osmo does his own slate breakdowns and perfect pitcher things, which are the likelihood of a pitcher being the highest scoring guy in a slate. We're getting more and more stuff. We're building tools apparently in the background with some developers. So get in there now while the getting is good. Go to Osmo.com and sign up. What else? Oh, how about another pitcher who is a favorite of yours, a favorite in my heart? CC Sabathia, looking real good on the Vegas lines again. Would you play CC Sabathia tonight?
I have a combined 1% across both sites.
Okay. He's up from an E rating on the last time he was pitching when
Do I need to talk you out of this again?
No, I'm just saying he's moving upwards, and a great
the only
total.
Thing that's moving up is his fucking BMI.
And his calorie counts and stuff too. There's a lot of signifiers related to that which can also be going up.
CC Sabathia is not the answer today. I promise.
All right, fine.
I don't promise. It's baseball. He could certainly be the answer. He just shouldn't be the answer. Unless the question is who wants to go to the buffet after the game?
That one was good. I enjoyed that one quite a bit. All right, fair. So no Sabathia. Though again, if you want to play Sabathia, it looks real good in Vegas, and he is a C in points projected in our rankings on DraftKings. So
he looks pretty good in Vegas because there's buffets everywhere.
I kind of want to just keep talking CC just to see how many fat jokes you have. I don't. Those get you in trouble sometimes. I can tell you from personal experience.
Yeah. Oh, yes, you can. Yeah, I mean, I probably got like a bundle more. We probably don't need to go into them all that often, but
That's good. Wait, you know who would eat a house pet? CC Sabathia.
see, now we're talking. Now we're getting into the goods.
Would you go Maeda and Price or DeGrom and Straley for a DK GPP?
Maeda and Price or I mean, I'd go Maeda and Price. I think I'm the only one on Straley Island tonight.
Oh, are you? So you're officially Team Straley, huh?
I'm more Team Straley than like the field will be. We're not Team Straley apparently, and I don't feel good about it. I mean, it's not like I have 45% Dan Straley or anything. I'll finish with like 7 or something, but that's still more than most people are going to end up with. So, I guess I'm Team Straley.
I like David Price. I in general, I realize I tend to like him a little more than most. But going against the Rays again, I mean, we just saw what Sale did last night. The Rays swing on strikes a lot versus a lefty. I'm okay with Price. I don't mind him. That actually may be a direction I go as we talk on this stream. Yeah, let's see. What other pitchers are there out there that might be interesting, which I need you to pick holes in? We're not playing Dylan Covey, I presume.
I assume I have 0, but yeah, I don't have any.
Okay, that's fair. How about talked about Gohara? How about Skaggs? Skaggs looks not awful.
I have 0 Skaggs.
How do we have him ranked? I like him because his name rhymes with a shortened version of my last name.
He's ranked like dog shit on both sites too. So.
Oh, and so is Chad Coolgirl. That's sad. One day, Chad Cool, you'll have your moment in the sun. There's really nobody else at the bottom of the slate who's jumping out as I want to question you on. Besides Sabathia, that's a big one. Are you okay with Maeda? I guess we kind of breezed past that.
Yeah, I got a bunch of them.
Okay.
Well, that's a really big sigh that got picked up by the microphone, although I guess that happens every time.
That was a very deep sigh.
Yeah, I heard it a lot.
I felt it. I felt it go right down to my bones. But that speaks to me. A sigh is always right where I am emotionally. People ask about Jeremiah Johnson, who I'm not going to say it, is talking about Kyle Freeland. Any Kyle Freeland for you? Pretty expensive.
He should not be owned.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of with you on that.
I'd say that he's probably the worst play on the board.
Wow, that's a pretty bold one. That's almost Chick-fil-A worthy.
I mean, I'm not going to bet that he has the lowest score, but he's fucking $10,000 on DraftKings. I would take like 15 guys ahead of him. I don't even know if there are 15 guys behind him.
Yeah. Oh, okay. People asking a lot about basketball. At least the two guys who always talk basketball the most. We can touch basketball real fast. We'll come back, and then I'll try to key in on MLB stuff so I can actually make my lineup. You want to pull up basketball? Do you have any basketball stuff to look at?
Yeah, sure.
Get a vibe going.
Whatever.
Positive. People are talking. So yeah, I do think you need to use. I wouldn't call them trash plays because that's not what they are. You need like low salary flotsam to get in the guys who are good. So like it's important to not think of them as trash. Like Jordan Bell, I wrote up in the Switch and Hedge as being like the guy I target. I mentioned him also on the stream yesterday because he got minutes in the game before that. So you're trying for the playoffs in particular, what you're trying to find are cheap guys who are going to kind of get a little more run the next game for whatever reason. The guys who I think would fit that criteria for the Celtics, I don't think there really are any. I don't think I would play Larkin, to be honest. I don't think he's actually going to get run. I would go with I wouldn't go Greg Monroe either. I think for me it's like Jeff Green, who we had graded out as being a pretty decent value. Larry Nance, again, I think is pretty okay on DK price-wise. But I wouldn't go like $1,000 cheap. It just it's not the slate for that for me personally. Josh, would you pay for a LeBron tonight? I feel like this is a question we can ask every time for these showdown slates.
Just like I said last time, I think he's a 50-50 proposition.
Okay. I think he's a little easier to fade this time out just because they're at home in Boston. Celtics, I think, tend to play better there. I think Celtics limited depth. Larkin doesn't fit that mold because they're limiting their depth intentionally. They're trimming minutes to focus on the key guys, which many teams do as rosters, like as the series gets deeper, rather, they limit their rosters and the key guys get more minutes. So that's not – I don't think Larkin's a play, personally.
I like Tatum a lot tonight.
His price looks good. He's been really bad, though. Yeah, I don't know.
Has he?
Yeah, this series, he's not been good. I don't think he's at value once.
Trying to look at that.
You can confirm my facts.
Apparently I can't. Okay, there it is. Game 1, he was solid.
Okay.
He had
his price is down.
fantasy points on DK. He's not shooting any threes.
No, he's not really rebounding either.
1 3 attempt in the most recent game, and in both games in Cleveland, he shot 2 total threes. He shot 8 in Boston. That's weird to me. No rebounds. How do you play 38 minutes, shoot 1 3, and get 2 boards? Where the fuck is he?
He's been really passive, and I think also like Jaylen Brown's more aggressive. Rozier's been a little more aggressive. Obviously, Horford does at times too. So Larkin being doubtful. I wouldn't bank, as Alex points out, our guy who's the founder of Osmo.com and the namesake of it, and makes a lot more money than any of us on DFS, says that Larkin is doubtful. So maybe don't think so much Larkin. But yeah, I don't know. Tatum, I don't really get. I think he's not an alpha dog type, at least in the series. The matchup's not great for him either, and I think he's just kind of a rookie. He's just being a rookie right now.
Man, the end of that movie is sad as shit.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it in a while. I might watch that tonight.
Actually, to be honest, I totally missed the movie you were referencing.
Alpha Dog?
Oh. Okay. Yes, that is, and also one of Justin Timberlake's finer acting achievements.
Oh, he's really good in that. Yeah. It's a fun movie. It used to be on all the time when I was in college.
Yeah, I like him in general. I mean, I guess that's not a hot take, but I
don't think there's a lot of anti-Justin Timberlake vibe out there, unless it's like, I don't know, Nick Carter or one of those other dudes. Nick Lachey probably doesn't like him all that much.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm sure that there are a couple guys. I bet the NSYNC guys in general probably aren't huge fans because he didn't take them along on the ride too much. Even ironically.
I don't know. I mean, I assume like even Chris Kirkpatrick has like a pretty sizable net worth.
Do you think so?
Dude, they were making so much money.
But they also had like a pedophile manager who was probably skimming a lot off the top and splitting it 5 ways. And, record musicians were getting screwed the most in that stage of things.
All right, so I Googled Chris Kirkpatrick net worth. It says it's $13 million, but it's also showing me Joey Fatone's picture, so I don't know how fucking much I should take this.
Maybe just they're like combined into one person in terms of like record keeping because we're like it's same shit.
Fatone has been popular. Well, okay, so his is listed at 14 here. What about?
They're probably giving roughly the same ballpark
JC
for the
Chazé.
celebrity.
Yeah, I know all their names, motherfuckers.
Lance Bass, JC Chazé.
Lance Bass has to be pretty sizable now. I mean, he's like a serious personality and stuff. Yeah, 22 million, and then JT's probably like, I don't know, 300 or 400 million if I had to guess.
That's a little high, I think. He's probably in like the 150 range.
Here.
I mean, celebrity net worth is a ballpark guess. I don't know that it's the most reliable thing, but he's definitely the richest. I'll agree with that. Yeah. Justin Timberlake, the richest NSYNC guy.
Yeah. So even Chris Kirkpatrick's like he's sleeping on a nice bed because of JT.
I wonder. I want to know. Let's do some reporting on this.
Dude, that guy had dreadlocks and became a millionaire.
He really looked like an elf, like legitimate.
JT did it all for that dude.
Yeah, Joey Fatone is like done some weird shit. He's done reality shows. I guess he did Dancing with the Stars, but
he did that Greek wedding movie too. And that was like the biggest movie of whatever year that was. But I'm sure you didn't get like bank on it either.
In terms of wealth, I would guess it's probably Timberlake, Fatone. Actually, no, Timberlake, Bass, Fatone, then some combo of Chazé and Kirkpatrick. I bet Chazé's probably paid a lot of people and had like entourages and stuff like spraying water on him. Things like that. Chris Kirkpatrick doesn't need those frills.
I don't think anybody wants that job.
No, probably not. Clay Melton asking all the pertinent CC Sabathia questions. Who's the best
pitcher? Can we go back to talking about Lance Bass while I hold my Lance Bass bobblehead?
Yeah, we can. No, we can.
Yeah.
Put that in there.
What up, Lance? Wish me luck tonight, buddy. Yeah, I keep that on my desk just in case anyone's curious.
I'm glad it was on top of your desk and not inserted somewhere. That's.
Yeah, well, me too. But it's literally straight in front of my face every single day. I see Lance Bass's face more than I see like my wife's.
Well, you gotta have priorities in order, and Lance Bass does have dreamy eyes. I don't know about your wife's eyes, unfortunately, but Lance Bass I know intimately.
Who the fuck is Lance?
Okay, let's answer Clay's question about CC Sabathia because it's important.
Okay.
Who's the best pitcher at CC Sabathia's price or cheaper? CC Sabathia would be my guess.
Do I get to find out which site it's on?
Yes. You just have to guess.
Who's the question coming from? Okay, never mind. It's Clay Melton. For a second, I thought Drew N answered it, and I was like, now I don't care. Clay Melton, which site?
Wesley Maxwell. Yeah, while Clay chimes that in, Wesley Maxwell, you must like your MLB picks because you're not talking about no baseball. I shouldn't have enunciated the poor grammar. I wasn't a deliberate choice. We're not talking MLB because we move around a lot here because you can't, like we talked about Josh's stacks in the beginning and pitchers, talked about my rebuttal on that. We go back and forth. You can't just debate these points back and forth or we'll want to smash our heads on something, I think would be how we feel.
Yeah, and I'm really bad at paying attention to things for a while, and things that seem funny to me end up being things that I would rather talk about, i.e. the net worth of InSync or whatever. So, that's just, them's the breaks. It's baseball. It's not a lot to talk about. Anyway, Clay Melton, DK.
For our live stream, you got to trust the process. We circled back to everything. I see all your questions. We're hitting everything we can. So just ride. Just enjoy the ride. Let's talk Clay Melton's pitchers.
Yeah, so there's no one really around Sabathia's price on DK. He's $600 behind Lester and $700 ahead of Chad Kuhl. So I'm going to be relatively broad with my pick here. It's Archer to me if $1,200 less is okay. If that's like too much, then probably David Price, I guess, but I would prefer Archer to Price. So Archer is my answer, if that's cool with you.
Yeah, I would say pay up for Price personally, but yeah, look, play CC Sabathia, nothing wrong with that. Just the fact that the grades don't turn out well, and Josh, I think, might strangle me through a monitor if I personally play CC Sabathia. Doesn't mean that should stop you. Trot him out there.
I'm sure you'll pick Stanton again as your home run pick. You just love doing dumb shit.
And it didn't work. That's why it's not as easy as we've made it look at times. You could pick the best home run hitter in a great spot versus a lefty, and he won't hit a home run. I just wanted to prove that for all of us. Right? Let's do our home run picks now then. I don't think we have Jake in the chat, so I guess we won't have a pick from the owner of baseballsavant.mlb.com. He also added
somebody from the Twins. So.
Yeah, he's a big Twins fan. The biggest Twins guy I know by far. He actually added another site to his repertoire. He's a part owner of Razzball.com. So he's expanding his portfolio bit by bit. I'm very proud of Jake Hari personally. Did not get his home run pick right, though. So nobody did last night. But today, we're going with someone actually, I have no fucking clue who I'm going with. So, Josh, who are you going with?
I don't know, but let me click Crunch here, and I'll look at it in the background so I can get my DK shit going, too.
Okay, fine.
What a ridiculous request coming out of me here.
Oh, sorry. You want to do
5 seconds.
Lineups, fun boy? I'm going to look at your Lance Bass bobblehead and make your lineups?
Yeah, kind of. Alrighty. If I needed to take a home run pick tonight, that cannot be right. Oh, that makes perfect sense. Hold on. I got to add a time filter to this. I have day games on this list. I was like, bullshit, Bryce Harper's projected for 0 ownership. And then I realized that.
That would be a bad choice by people if you were playing Bryce Harper at 0%.
I was like, shit, I need to load up on Harper. Okay, that looks a little bit more feasible.
I think I know who I'm going with, and I'm hoping this strategy pays off. I'll make my pick while you figure yours out. I'm going against Adam Plutko, and I'm going back to a guy who gave me a 0 the last time I picked him for a home run, Anthony Rizzo.
Nice. I got really nervous there. Give me Schwarber.
Oh, oh boy, this is fun. I like this.
Spotlight hitter Anthony Rizzo, by the way.
Is he? Okay. I stopped checking spotlight hitters. I just check stacks and pitchers now. It's redundant.
Thanks, man.
Sort of. Well, but you say similar things, and we say stacks. I don't know. Just whatever.
Yeah, there's a decent chance I tweak those two things to be one big column, but I like to double up on the traffic, make it look like I'm more important.
And people do, like, if you don't know baseball that well, like you guys were watching the stream, we beat it into your head that you need to play streams, or play stacks. And so I mean, people who are just coming to the site for the first time often don't know that, so it is sort of important. But yeah, stacks always.
You had Carpenter go yard, right?
No, Anthony Rizzo.
No. Monday, Carpenter went yard.
Oh
right?
yeah, Carpenter, yes.
All right, but
yes, please.
This isn't updated since then, so. I had Travis Shaw. Jake took Moncada.
No, he took. Actually, I totally forgot who he took. Chad, who did Jake take yesterday?
Jake took Moncada, right? He did. I'm right.
Okay, I trust you. I just know his guy didn't hit a home run, or we would have heard about it.
I'm like 99% sure it was Moncada.
Okay. Anthony Rizzo. I think this is the first time we've had guys on the same lineup from the same side of the plate versus the same pitcher. I'm intrigued by this. I'm intrigued.
I have Schwarber as the 14th most likely home run. Rizzo, 15.
That is really interesting, actually. Who is the most on your chart?
Stanton.
Okay. Well, and he is and that's surprising because he's a very, like, who would think that Giancarlo Stanton would hit a home run? Only a brave person would predict that.
He's usually first if he plays and they're in any sort of reasonable park. Like if they were in Petco and facing, I don't know, if the Padres had like an ace, he'd probably fall out of the top spot. But he's just pretty naturally like the best home run hitter, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense. And a lot of isolated power, so I would see that.
And it's not by much, like everybody's separated by like hundredths of a percentage point, so.
It'd be nice if we both get home runs tonight. I think I'm going to stack Cubs.
Yeah, I have a bunch of Cubs. I'm interested to see why we don't have their ownership projected highly. I'm like double the field or more on almost every Cub hitter on DK. So go Cubs, I guess. Is what I'm saying.
They are a World Series winning team within the last few years. Nothing wrong with that.
I just reran my crunch for DK, so I'm going to paste this in and see exactly how much I have right now and if I need to make any more tweaks.
Who do you like at third base tonight?
I assume we don't have an actual website to check.
No, the guy doesn't even have a last name. It's just Jason. So I mean,
was he like
it's really? I don't know.
All right, Cher. I'll look into it. Third base. I prefer Rob base.
What? Are you making an 80s music reference?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to be clear. I didn't get the second part of it, but I got the third base.
I got the third base. All right. Who asked the damn third base question? Hey, Jason. Solo
FanDuel.
Jason. I said FanDuel, but I asked for a second. Okay, cool. FanDuel. That makes my life so much happier. Alrighty, so my top projected third base guy is Chris Bryant. Not that anyone's going to be shocked by that. I like the Cubs, so I have some Bryant. We don't have him double our projected ownership on Bryant as well, so I like that. Donaldson, we have projected very highly. He's my second highest projected guy, but I don't have much of the Blue Jays. So if you're asking me from a value perspective, just in general, I like Bryant. I like Miguel Andujar. I like Danny Valencia. I like Colin Moran. These are all guys that are parts of like my major stacks. And if you really need to pay like next to no money, Zach Cozart at 29 is not bad.
Okay, man, so I'm doing this Cubs stack as we were talking, and I really like this Cubs stack.
Yeah, I'm a pretty big fan of it as well.
Oh, okay. Oh, Richard Evans, here we go. I'm taking suggestions, by the way, in the chat. If you are currently contemplating a stack, I will personally look your stack up and tell you how I feel about it. Because I didn't do my lineups. That's literally the reason we're doing it right now.
Hey, by any chance, did you read our most recent premium article from our boss?
I didn't get a chance to. I was in the gym getting swole and shit.
There's a stack on DK that is probably up your alley.
Oh, okay. Shit. Well, now we can't say it though because people have to read the article. You have to be a premium member.
I'm not going to talk about it. Fuck y'all. Pay for it.
Well, I'll look it up.
I know.
I also have to look up the Nets. Let's see any good questions to fill you in the meantime. Would you go a red stack or an angel stack on DK?
Angels. I'm double the field on the Angels tonight, and I'm a third of half the field on the Reds. And to be fair, I'm in the minority for the Reds as well. We have them ranked pretty high. I just don't get there.
How about the Pirates or Orioles? I assume you're going to be Pirates.
Pirates or Orioles, or do I like either? They're my top two stacks on DraftKings.
Oh, I think that was an either-or question. Yeah, from Jawan.
So my answer is both. I can't pick between the two. That would be disingenuous. That's not a 50-50 prop. I've got them more than anyone else.
That's true. People talk about the showdown. Please don't give misinformation about stuff you need in the showdown. Just don't for a showdown slate. You don't need a guy who's super cheap necessarily. In fact, the second to last Warriors Rockets game was an evenly distributed lineup. It's all dependent on the slate and the prices that are there. Today there aren't a lot of super cheap guys, so you probably need guys in that that J.R. Smith price range. But you don't need to go don't feel like you have to farm super cheap because you're probably just going to be chasing some bad money tonight. Yeah, and Alex, by the way, was right. Osimo, again, our site founder, was right about a pitcher yesterday in his perfect pitcher article where he breaks down the odds of guys being great. He fucking nailed Zach Wheeler, which was I felt like that was a really good one because we had talked about Zach Wheeler, Jake and I did, and I think maybe you talked about it somewhere where you weren't in on him. I might be imagining.
I had a decent amount of Wheeler in the end of the night.
Well, anyway, he mentioned Zach Wheeler, and that was a really good call, which we couldn't quite get to, or at least Jake couldn't. So some baseball savant he is.
It was an ownership play.
Yeah, but I mean, also I think he mentioned there was some good K-rate stuff and whatever, and it turned out that was a good call. So trust the guy making the money.
True story there.
Okay, there we go. And I see the stack that you mentioned, and I am going to look that stack up now. So a lot of people are thinking about that stack, huh?
No, I'm not.
Huh. But people keep mentioning it in the chat too. You're not because you're okay, let's just look up we're gonna look up the Mets versus a righty right now. That's what we're gonna do. It's independent of all the stuff we're talking about. Wink.
I have them in one lineup. Out of 190.
So wow. All right. So you really don't buy that?
No, it's not that I don't buy that. I'll explain it in two separate ways. One, I'm probably wrong.
It's a good caveat to throw out first.
Sure. Two, I don't really see it when I just look at the Mets. They don't particularly grade out well. Like, if I'm not even paying attention to ownership and I look at it, I see Nimmo, Cabrera, Conforto, and Jay Bruce look to grade out okay. I think Mesoraco could be fine as a catcher, but I see, like, me personally, significantly more. Now, I like the Mets stack on FanDuel a little bit. I get to Jay Bruce quite a bit, but I don't see they don't feel like they're that great of a price stack for me on DK. So that's not one that I'm going to.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it now. If I were to play guys, like, I don't mind Cabrera. Conforto, like you mentioned, looks good. Jay Bruce looks good. Nimmo, actually, yeah, Nimmo does look pretty good too. 400 on base percentage versus righties. I don't mind that. I could see why you'd go with the stack. Mesoraco's hit pretty well so far in his limited plate appearances for the Mets. Yeah, I don't mind it, actually. So right now I have Contreras in a catcher. I would consider going to Mesoraco over Contreras for savings.
Shit, I gotta make a change here. Apparently I didn't make any tweaks to Dan Straley's actual ownership. So I have, like, way more Dan Straley than I should have.
Yeah, so that's what we're talking about going against here. I don't love Dan Straley. I mean, Dan Straley gives up a lot of velocity, exit velocity, and a lot of barrels per plate appearance. So those are things. Oh man, It's a low total too, which I kind of like because obviously the total is going mostly towards the Mets side, at least in that sort of breakdown. Huh?
I gotta shave this ownership right now.
Sure. All right. Well, I think people asking about the Mets, I think there's a lot of intrigue there. And again, the fact that our genius super rich boss says that it's a pretty good one, I think would make me think that it's a good thought.
Yeah, I'm certainly in the minority amongst people that are smarter than me.
How about, and this is not a question, this is totally a question from the chat, not one that I'm asking to finish my lineup. How about best shortstop on DK? If you were to do a one-off.
Oh, this will probably be really easy then. Manny Machado?
Okay. So we're not digging deep for that. We're just going straight Manny. Okay.
Well, if the question is who's the best shortstop, he's the guy that I have projected with the most points.
Who would be your best value at shortstop? All these guys that are on our rankings are probably stack guys. Like, I can't imagine being.
Simmons would be the guy that I have the most of. I have more than the field for him. So yeah, Andrelton Simmons would probably be my play here.
Okay, I'm all right. I think that might be what I go with. Pretty good ownership on him too. I mean, pretty favorable ownership projected. Okay, I'm okay with that. So yeah, so the Mets stack, I think I officially feel good about. Josh feels iffy about, but could see the logic in. So that's where we're shaking out on the Mets. And
actually, I could be wrong there. Hold on. I might be missing someone. Yeah, I was wondering why that was too low. So this goes back to the Cubs shit again. I'm super duper high on Javier Baez. Sorry, I filtered that incorrectly. I was only filtering to guys that could only play short. I was missing the dual eligibility guys. So Javier Baez is a guy that I'm way above the field on. I think he's a really nice option at short. I still stick to Andrelton Simmons if you need someone a little bit cheaper than that.
See, Baez, okay, so I was actually just contemplating if I should keep Baez in. Because, like, I guess he grades out okay. Decent power. Yeah, fuck it. I might just switch catcher. Fuck. Whatever. I'll figure this out on my own. But I think, basically, if you guys are curious, I'm going to land on, I think, a Cubs-Mets stack with possibly a one-off, possibly not a one-off. We'll see how that goes. But that's what I'm feeling right now. Can you give some feedback on this lineup for a guy who's apparently new to MLB DFS? Sure, Zach. We're here for you. Price, Cobb, Cervelli, Rizzo, Harrison, Bryant, Machado, Winker, Betts. So I'll tell you right now, it's not stacked enough, I think. It looks like he's got like 3 Cubs in there. 3 Cubs, So, I mean, I would try to stack a little more cleanly than that if you can, especially if you really like one of those lineups.
Yeah. But yeah, I like most of those guys as parts of stacks. So, like, I like the Rizzo, Bryant, Happ piece. I'd be dumb to say like I didn't like Machado or Betts. Harrison's a guy that I have quite a bit of. I like Cervelli. So if you can get like Cervelli, Harrison, and someone else there, you just want to stack that up a little bit more.
Oh, Winker is projected to be that highly owned? I'm surprised by that.
Yeah.
Huh. The Reds apparently bouncing back tonight in terms of stacks and ownership because that's crazy. I would not want to play Winker. We have Winker projected
off, nice implied total. Like sometimes it's just that easy.
I guess so. But yeah, I mean, try to stack more. I think in general, our rule of thumb would be if you can get to 5, great. Like a 5-2-1 stack, or if you can't do that, like a 4-3-2 or whatever. No, that was wrong math. 4-2-2, something like that. But in general, if you can get to 5 somewhere, that'd be great. How do you feel about the 9.5 over on the Pirates-Reds game?
I don't know how to answer that.
Just emotionally, I think we're treating it like a.
I'm passionate about it.
But passionate on the Pirates side, though, not the Red side.
By the way, we're not taking any more of those "How's my lineup looks" questions. Jesus, we're getting inundated with them right now.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, to be honest, we don't want to make that a thing. That was just like that guy said it's his first time, and he put LOL in there, so I took it legitimately. We can't do that. I mean,
I could tell you I like 100 different lines because I do.
Yeah, that's my bad. I shouldn't have opened the wormhole of that one. But, we try to be nice to people. I mean, look, the thing is, there are a lot of you guys know a lot of the stuff, especially you've been watching these streams every day, and we try to beat the same principles into your head over and over again. But, yeah, we just also try to be nice to people who are new if I see the chat come through. Just because it's important for our industry to keep new people happy and learning and not making dumb plays. Dickerson or Polanco? Dickerson fucking disappointed me yesterday, I'll tell you that much.
Obviously, sight is important, since no one ever wants to tell us that because, why would you? I would take... I don't have a preference on FanDuel. I have the same amount of both of them. They're the same price, so... Yeah, neither. I would play 2 lineups and get them both in there.
Who is your favorite Boston bat tonight? Or do you even have one? I mean, you've noted that you like Archer. Archer is pretty volatile, but also can be good. So I guess what about Boston? And if you had to play a Boston player, who would you play?
I mean, I guess Betts, but I don't really have the Red Sox. I have none of them on FanDuel and 2% of them on DK. So my answer would be none of them, I guess.
If I had to choose, I would probably go JD Martinez. Almost 400 isolated power, 400 on base percentage. BABIP's right in line where you'd want it to be. I go JD Martinez. I don't think that's even close for me. JD's nasty this year. He's been a guy you could basically play every night. Like he's been Stanton caliber, I think.
That was stupid.
Austin Meadows has practically no data, but he's crushing. How should I go about projecting him since he only has under 20 plate appearances? It's a good question because we were talking yesterday. A lot of these young guns are fucking filling it up, including my boy Tyler Sexy Muscles O'Neill.
Sexy Muscles O'Neill.
He hit like a crazy day when we looked up his arms that other day. So he's officially getting a nickname from me. I don't care. I don't need to do that as shtick, but he's just Sexy Muscles. But how do you approach that, Josh, for a guy like Austin Meadows or Tyler O'Neill?
I would use projection sources that use minor league data, or I would look at minor league data to try and adjust a major league line, get an idea of sort of his like scouting profile, try to build a stat line based on a scouting profile. So if he's got a decent amount of homers, compare what that upside is. So if if he projects to be like a 25 homer guy, find the guys that normally hit 25 home runs, plot out what those guys average, and from an ISO perspective, use that as a baseline and build like what amounts to like a phony line for him as your base.
There you go. And again, like a lot of guys, I think I've been trying just to play guys straight. Like obviously if their numbers are crazy high, they're going to be due for some regression. But if these guys were like a top prospect guy, this is just very rudimentary. So please don't cite this as being like an Osmo.com feature. But what I would do is just Google the guy and check out his track record. And that's usually, I've noticed, been a pretty good way of determining who's legit and who's not. Like I got off Eliezer Hernandez because I was like, nobody has talked about this guy ever. Like him coming up and having no Google results would indicate a degree of unimportance as well. So if you find a guy like Meadows too, like obviously that's a different example because he's a very high prospect, but it doesn't hurt to give those guys top 100 prospects look and see how they're expected to perform, because some guys are just going to be wasting your time, but some guys they obviously have a lot of hopes for.
Yeah, like just going to FanDuel and reading his like prospect profile will help you. Look at the projections that they have on FanGraphs for him. Unlock the minors data. Go back and look and see how he's done. In the minors, he had 136 plate appearances in AAA this year, 312 there last year. Check that out. You see that it's around 100 ISO. The guy, he's not much of a power hitter. Might project a little bit more of it in the future, but that's not necessarily like his bag. Try to figure it out using some of his minors data. Regress that down to something more along the lines of a major league line.
Yep, there you go. So now, and it's helpful. I mean, honestly, I do think that if you're on these younger guys early, there is a pretty big opportunity. From what I've gauged so far, if I were to compare it, it's a lot like kind of going with NBA guys who are like, you have a top draft pick, like let's say Malik Monk, who's getting burned at the end of the year. Like a lot of people's projections across the industry aren't going to reflect the fact that Malik Monk is getting burned and is finally good. And I think that's where there is kind of a sweet spot with the O'Neals and Meadows and Gleyber Torreses who have just been raking. I think they tend to be a little lower owned than they should be. Is no one on the Dodgers stack today? They've been hot lately. What do you think? Any Dodgers?
I've got the same amount as the field, basically, on both sites. I don't find them particularly interesting today.
Let's see. I don't mind Barnes. I don't mind Bellinger.
You should probably mind Bellinger because he's not playing.
Oh, there you go. So I should mind Bellinger. Oops, yeah, there we go.
Fuck. Wife is definitely making broccoli. It stinks in my office right now.
Does broccoli stinks when you make it? I didn't know that.
Roasted, yeah, it gives off a little bit of the sulfurous. I was gonna say hue, but that's not a scent word. So whatever the scent version of hue is.
I think that worked though. That painted your picture pretty well. You're a broadcaster. You got that.
Yeah, sure.
This guy's asking basketball, Clarkson, Hood, or Monroe. If I had to choose one of those three, I would go Clarkson. Kicks good. Clarkson at least gets some minutes, and there's an opportunity. Hood is not
likely to kill Rodney Hood tonight. So.
Yeah, I don't see Hood happening. Monroe, there's maybe a slight chance, but I don't think Boston's going to play bigs. I think they played better without having bigs on the floor. So Baines will get his run, but I don't think it's going to be Monroe tonight. Would you go Gardner or Mancini on FanDuel?
Gardner or Mancini? Oh my god. Gardner, I have on FanDuel. Shit. All right, I've got more Gardner. So, Gardner.
Okay. I'm all right with that. That's a practical rationale for a guy dealing with apparently tough broccoli-based odors.
Yeah. Well, I know there's burgers coming too, so.
Oh, burgers and broccoli.
That's gotta get the vegetables in there somehow.
That's true. I have no issue with broccoli. I like broccoli. I just didn't know it's not when you make it. I've never cut broccoli really. DeGrom had trouble with Miami in April. Would you give some Marlins a look on DK?
No.
No, I don't think that's an issue. I mean, look, I'm probably going to fade DeGrom tonight just because the price thing and the ownership thing. I'm all right with it. But I don't see the Marlins tonight. I think DeGrom's a fine enough play.
Okay, again, I said this morning. Like, well, it's bigger on FanDuel, but like I've got DeGrom projected 4.5 points higher than the next highest guy, and like after that, it's an even bigger gap. He's so far above the field that, and like, what's the Marlins' implied total? 2.9. They've got a 76 weighted runs created plus against righties for the season, a 115 ISO against a league average of 161. You're getting way too cute if you're trying to fade that, thinking maybe if this Marlins stack I can win a tournament. You're trying to pick all the Powerball numbers with that one.
Oh boy, you know what I just landed on with my lineup?
A huge
I think
dong.
I
don't know.
It's CC Sabathia. he fits perfectly price wise.
Well, then drop down to Chris Archer and figure out what you can do with the extra money.
Well, it's okay. So it's either go with Contreras and Simmons at shortstop, or go and then a pitcher I can go to like Archer or whatever and feel okay about it, not be wasting too much money. Or I could go CC Sabathia with Mesoraco and Baez. So keeping a tight Mets Cubs stack, and just gonna go CC.
I don't know. Don't do that.
I like that you feel so strongly about it. I do.
I don't like that you feel so strongly about it.
I'll probably. This is gonna hurt though. It's gonna hurt me if Archer gets fucking rocked by the Red Sox, which is very possible. And,
have you looked at our rankings for these guys?
No, I have. I know, but there's variance. We always say the word variance.
You might as well stack the Marlins then too while you're at it. Jesus.
Oh, fuck it. All right, fine. Right now, you can see I currently have Archer and Price in. I am not currently with Sabathia.
Archer and Price? Man, that's risky.
Riskier than CC Sabathia?
Nah.
I like Price. I think Price grades out well. And if we're saying play Archer, then I just have to go with a pitching duel today.
You're talking about rostering a guy that's projected for 5% ownership, and he's a D value.
Yeah, I get it. Look, I'm a man of conviction and believing in pitchers who I've enjoyed in previous eras. So that's fine.
Not to mention he raked you over the coals like 7 days ago during this exact same exchange.
But that's the thing, though, is like the victory goes to the brave. And if I go back to CC Sabathia at like, 2% ownership? Like, boy, what if he has a great day and mows down some Rangers? What if the brisket's really good and he's extra motivated?
Okay, I'd probably pitch well, too, if I had brisket in my tummy tum. But I wish today was one of those, like, one of the days where we put out who's the pitcher most likely to be the top pitcher on the slate, so you can see Sabathia's name, near the bottom.
And bright, shining lights. Yeah, probably not great. Josh, do you still love the Cubs today?
I do.
Yeah, that hasn't changed. And now I love the Cubs. It's infectious.
Yeah, it feels like an infectious disease right now for how much I'm over them because I'm more and more nervous about it as time ticks on.
Really? Okay. Well, they are both of our home run picks, so we are locked in that respect.
Yeah. I
This
wish
dude's
we liked him more. By we, I mean Alex.
That's true. That would be nice. That would be a nice validation.
Yeah.
How about the Mariners tonight going against Gossett, another pitcher who's not fantastic, not with a great track record?
I'm just above the field slightly, but they're not projected all that well. They've got really good value rankings on the site, but I mean, maybe if they were facing Lou Gossett, I would do it.
He doesn't get many starts. It's unfortunate. I'm looking at. Okay, I'll look at the Mariners lineup too, just to confirm. Just to fact check. Let's see.
I've got 6% Mariners as average. So like Segura, Heredia, Cruz, and Seager look fine. I don't need too much more.
What about Ryan Healy?
Oh, why did I type that there? There we go. Let's try that again.
Yeah, Haniger Cruz, I like. Is Zanino in? Yeah, Zanino, I'm a little in on. Keely, I think, looks okay to me. I don't know who this Gamel character is. Fun name, though. Sounds like Gargamel from the Smurfs.
I was in the Smurfs guy.
What? Ah, God damn it. I love the Smurfs and the Snorks. I was very in on like these animated cults of weird animals.
So that was like a Ninja Turtles guy, so another animated weird animal.
I like those too. I like the Ghostbusters, so if we're going humans, those are very human people.
They were never my thing.
Louis Caliste, very concerned about Gohara. You have some Gohara, right?
Yeah, I'll be well above the field on Gohara. Your mileage may vary on that one. I was too big of a pro wrestling nerd to be into anything else.
I think I did all these in stages. Like Power Rangers too, I was into.
I just wanted to bang that hot one, even before I knew what banging was.
April O'Neil?
No,
the Ninja Turtle?
The hot chick Power Ranger.
Oh, okay. I thought we were still talking Ninja Turtles, and you wanted to have sex with the Ninja Turtle they added to like the Fox show at one point.
No, just Splinter for me.
Oh, because they had a lady turtle named Venus. I assume named after Venus de Milo.
Yeah, you would think.
So,
I doubt it was about the women's razors.
It could be that, or it could be the song that they appropriated. Yeah, the I'm Your Venus. Top 3 players in the single game boost. That is a question I'm not even remotely prepared to answer.
I'm gonna pass.
I like the players who are in that. Also, if actually, I don't know if it's premium or not, but yeah, check it out either way. If you're playing PGA at all, there's a lot of big PGA tournaments coming up. We actually just hired a freelance writer named Nolan who is doing PGA articles for us. So go check out one that he did on the tournament that's this weekend and up on Osmo.com now. I named that column, so I'm very proud of the name for our new golf column. The Approach is what we're calling it. Fantastic.
I wasn't paying attention to the chat at the time. I didn't have a chance to get in here quick enough and answer. Even though I saw all of the back and forth via email today, I had my shot.
The Approach is a good name because like the thing
it's a great name. I can't even be mad about it.
Did you hear what I said they should rename Slam Dunks when Tom at one point, our COO, had mentioned they don't love Slam Dunks being the name because it implies a degree of certainty and nothing in DFS is certain, and that's actually a philosophy we try to apply. I said it should be the corner 3 because it's like that's the best percentage play. It's another brilliant name for a column.
I like that.
I've been killing it. Switch and Hedge, I think, is also greatly underrated as a column name.
I think it's the worst of those 3, but I do like all of them.
Yeah, you know what? I think you're right, but I think it's appropriate to have a Switch and Hedge.
Oh, look, I like all of them, to be perfectly honest with you. I think the corner 3 is good, but I think the Approach is by far the best.
The Approach is good. Honestly, if there's not a golf podcast named The Approach right now, I don't even know what people are doing. It's got such a dramatic flair to it too. I like it a lot. Good for Nolan.
I guess our second choice of Shack House was already taken.
Probably not available anymore.
No.
See, any good questions? Pink Ranger was hot, yes. Gomes, Mesoraco, or Barnhart for DK Cash?
Jesus fucking Christ.
I go Mesoraco. Pair him with CC Sabathia. See how you do.
I don't really like any of them.
Ooh, okay. Shocking twist.
Man, yeah, I don't... Do I have any Barnhart? Yeah, it probably Barnhart for me, I guess. But none of those 3 guys really, I don't know what, get me excited.
Facts asking, how many lineups do you guys do on an average day? How many entries, and when do you typically do them? For me, for baseball, I've only been doing 1 a day because the stream keeps fucking me up with updating them sometimes. And for basketball, I do 15 to 20 a day, which is stupid, but I kind of like the competing against more entries. It makes me feel like I'm a one guy fighting the Star Wars paramilitary.
I have 167 on FanDuel and 190 on DraftKings today. That's just for the night slate.
Wow.
And when do I do them? I've been doing them on this show for the past hour. So right now, I mean, I put placeholders in earlier in the day, and then at 5 o'clock, so an hour before I have to do this, they usually have like 75% of the lineups out. So then I'll enter all the official lineups, run a crunch, re-upload those so that just in case something goes wonky, I probably don't have too many guys out. And then for like the last 90 minutes or so, I just clean that up and adjust my exposures compared to what we're projecting exposure to be.
Yeah, and for me, I just do the one lineup or two before I come on the air and hope that nothing changes. It's like Josh is comfortable with silence. I try to like not let there be a moment of dead air ever, because I grew up listening to radio where that was like important, and now it's not like that. But I think for me that makes it hard to do lineups and to adjust. Let's see, somebody's asking an interesting question. Oh, how do we feel about DraftKings blocking experienced players from the low entry fee tournaments? We actually talked about this on the premium video today. Osmo says it's only like 400 people apparently that are actually like affected by that. So fuck those guys, I think. But also, I don't know. I think you should try to reward the lower stakes players who are usually newer players, because like we've discussed a lot, that is how you build your bankroll, is by entering, max entering a lower stakes tournament you can afford. Because that's the most fair ground to be on, is competing max entry versus max entry. So whether you're doing a single entry or a 20 max or whatever, that is the best way to approach it. So I think it's good that people can actually get a shot to build the role. But I'm sure I get why people be butthurt about it, because you still have a chance to win the same. So it's a little unfair to not have the experienced people in there. But fuck them. Josh, any thoughts?
First, I want to quickly answer Michael Prince's question. I just saw that email come in. More often than not, it'll probably be me that answers whatever question you just asked. It could be Tom, our COO. So one way or the other, it'll get answered. But I did see it come in, so just so you know. And
do we have like an advice hotline?
No, the support mailbox.
Okay. We should do like an advice email box, I think.
No, we shouldn't.
No, we shouldn't.
Just trust me.
Okay.
Just trust me.
Okay. All right, fair. Go on.
We can talk about that later. Unless you mean like life advice. Like, I lost my house payment and I'm going to jump off the top of this building, like, unless you guys respond to this email, at which point I'll happily set that mailbox up.
You'll do a cover of the Logic song for that person.
Yeah. So about the DK ban thing, my inner person hates it. I don't give a shit about the low hanging fruit in this. In my mind, if you can't beat it, then fuck it. Like, either work harder or figure it out. But that's not like the best look for the industry and for it to be able to evolve. So I think pinching that sort of stuff at the end so that people can get their feet wet is a good move as much as they can. Because you want, ultimately, like, I would expect the big guns to continue to play. So if you can save some people from going like absolutely crazy or never getting here in the first place, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I agree. I think, the more that people are aware of like the kind of ways to actually attack this stuff, I think the better. So I think that makes one sort of clearly defined demarcation between stuff that will hopefully encourage more people to play. And obviously for us as a site, that benefits us. And like, I want to be talking to more people, because I'm used to talking to shitloads of people. So the bigger the DFS industry is, the better. And I think the only way to do that, like Josh said, is to pinch it at the end and get some new blood in, hopefully.
Yeah.
Got some we got some more questions. Why not? Jones or Mancini tonight, and how would you rank guys that are that close?
I prefer neither, because I like them both. And I would just play multiple lines and take a step down in buy-in if I couldn't afford those lines, especially in baseball.
for me, I would go with whoever has more power. But I think that's just how I play it. Josh's approach is the right one. Just if you can try to get different, looks of the same lineup, and if that's just the smart way to do it. Pirate stack we've talked about a lot. Are you still working the financial job, Josh? I know the answer, but no spoilers.
No, I'm not. This is my only job now.
Yeah, Josh is a full-time DFS. I guess you're not a DFS pro. You're a professional DFS commentator.
Yeah.
That's what we both are, technically, I think. Just internet person.
Proceeds from winnings do not pay my bills.
Yes. There you go. And Josh is, I've said it on the stream before, Josh I watched when he was a solo proprietor. I happened to stumble upon him from Reddit. And it's a thrill to see Josh actually climb up the food chain and now be doing a job. I'm sure many of you guys watching the stream since day one feel the same. But let's all applaud Josh. Yay. And
it's fun as shit. I can't say anything else. I got super duper lucky. And sometimes you just need to put yourself in situations. I never really believed in that, the secret, positive imagery, put yourself in those situations and good shit will happen to you stuff. I always thought that was, kind of hooey. But, in hindsight, I started at the beginning of the NBA season and just went super hard at it and ground out content, almost every single day. Christmas, New Year's, whatever. I was just doing it. And that got me in front of the eyes that I needed it to do, and it worked out perfectly for me. So sometimes you just need to work really hard. Not that this is hard work, but I put a fuck ton of time in it, especially going to a regular 9 to 5 every single day while doing all of it. Not that I'm begging for it or anything, but I was putting a lot of hours in.
Yeah, I think you have to battle. It's for anybody out there who's trying to do a similar thing. And honestly, we're also going to start looking for more people to use here and there for some features. The most important part is just putting yourself out there. And Josh did that and, built a little, not a little, I'm not saying that pejoratively, but built enough of a following that was noteworthy. And I think once that happens, it goes fast. I'm excited for football though. I think what I'm going to do actually is start doing a lot of football research over the summer and try to get really, really good at football, only to find out I'm terrible. But that's the hope.
I'm just, I'm pumped for basketball season to start again.
Yeah, I was winning so much at the beginning of basketball season, and then it kind of trickled down. But I just didn't know what I was doing. I was kind of just using my knowledge and not really the best practice stuff that we know now. And getting a full season run of that, especially when people are still figuring out players, and I've kind of done my research. Very excited for that. Fucking nothing else good in the chat. So good luck tonight, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're not, so you know whenever we go live, like our videos, all that stuff. Tune in for the Night Shift podcast coming out soon with Jake, our boy Jake Hari, the owner of BaseballSavant.mlb.com, and the Minnesota Twins fan club president. He's going to talk about his two passions, Minnesota Twins and baseball savantry, on that podcast. So go watch that. And go become a premium member of Osmo.com if you haven't. See the video I did today with Alex. Pretty helpful stuff in there. And Josh, any fine words? Josh Areno, any fine words to close out on?
Apparently Baltimore is not owned on FanDuel tonight.
Ooh, okay.
All under 0.1. This has to be a visualization bug. Cobb, Chris Davis, Scope, Valencia, all showing as under 0.1%. Because it's 8 o'clock. Fuck, that makes sense. They're not showing... Well, normally they'd have a dash there. So
okay.
It caught me, the game had started being played, and I was like, holy shit, I have so many Orioles. What did I do wrong? But, sorry, it just gave me a panic attack. No, normally they don't show anything in that spot before the game has started. So, okay, I can calm down now. My bad. Whatever Chris just said is probably true. I wasn't listening because I was having a panic attack.
I also called you Josh Areno.
Perfect. I was oh, cool, I have 122% of total ownership on the Orioles, and they've been owned a total of 1. So we're good. It's just a bug.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow with more stuff. Subscribe, like things, and we'll miss you. See you soon.
Bye, everybody.